Hey, welcome back to Dogtography. Today I wanted to talk about when to know when to upgrade your equipment, whether you're working with a cell phone, a compact camera, or a DSLR or mirrorless, when to know when to upgrade. Stay tuned. Hi, I'm Andrea Fleury and welcome to Dogtography. My channel is all about how to take better images of your dog and how to create some really super fun memories. I walk you through different tips and tutorials and techniques. I sometimes show you behind the scenes of my professional career as a dog photographer, all while just trying to have some fun and enjoy time with our dogs. So people ask me all the time, what kind of equipment do I shoot with? And what do I recommend people get started with? There's lots of different options in where to start. Personally, I think it's the camera that is easiest to carry with you and that you have with you most often. So for most people, that's starting with your cell phone. Now, cell phones are great. They've definitely come a long way in their technology. We've got like cameras or phones now with a bunch of different lenses, which gives you some variety within one tool. So this is an amazing place to start. Are cell phones, replacing the traditional like cameras where you can interchange lenses and stuff? No, in my opinion, they're nowhere even close to being that good yet. But the technology is starting and it is there, and it is a great tool for you to just quickly and lightly carry around with you. And if something were to happen to this, yes, phones now are quite expensive, but it's not as expensive as a big, camera. So these definitely have a lot of pros as well, but the cons to them are many. So I found that even now, everyday usage, I'm taking photos with my cell phone, and the imagery that comes off of them, of my dog in particular, kind of drives me crazy. And it's unfortunate. Like even, a couple days ago, we were down at the cherry blossom trees and I'm trying to take photos of him. And I'm looking at the results, the images that I'm getting back on my camera, and they're so dark and kind of shadowy and everything needs editing. And you can tell that the camera is applying color and is applying sharpness and is applying things to it. That's what happens when you shoot in JPEG. Now, I do believe I have mine set to shooting in the like Apple RAW format, and I still find that that's happening, and I don't really know why. And to be honest, if I'm just being honest with you, I don't want to have to learn what's happening. Like, it should just be simple and easy, and it is, but it's the exposure, the color, the brightness, the darkness, the lightness, the shadows, all those things that now my eyes are trained to see drive me nuts. Now, I have to say, when I'm taking pictures of like my kids or like landscape style stuff, it doesn't bother me as much. It's more so to do with my dog, and I'm not really sure when that is. But to know when to upgrade from your camera on your phone to something else comes when you find yourself, I think, longing to be more creative or longing to have a certain style imagery that you're not seeing your cell phone camera being able to take. And the one thing that cell phones are really notorious for is for imagery where everything is in focus. So from the trees way in the background to the tip of your dog's nose, if everything looks sharp, and that is just not an image style that you're into anymore, then you're going to want to upgrade from your phone. That is definitely something that motivated me in the beginning, for sure. I would follow different photographers that I saw on Instagram, and I'm like, whoa, where are they getting the ability to take these images where the background is like all fuzzed out, is what people call it. In photography, we call it bokeh. It's like the softness, the buttery smoothness, the kind of creaminess in the background where it gives it compression. That's another term that is used a lot in photography as well. So it's making everything not look so far away behind you. It kind of brings the background up closer to you and puts it out of focus. So there's like a depth to the image. Those are all things that you're not going to get with this. Now, there is portrait mode on your cell phone, which is like a filter that tries to mimic the effect of like a lens like this. So it tries to mimic giving you that fuzzier, I was going to say furrier background, fuzzier background. It tries to do that, but it's not perfect. It does have a setting which allows you to use it with animals. So it used to back in the day have a really hard time around fur, and it would leave like jagged kind of edges around the fur of an animal. It's a little better now, but it's definitely not perfect, and it leaves bits and stuff sharp that shouldn't be sharp, and what's the term I'm thinking of that I want to use? It's just kind of cheap. I'm just gonna say it. It just looks kind of cheap. So that's how you know when to move on from this, is when you've kind of worked with this a lot, you've figured it out, you've got your compositional skills and all of that kind of stuff going. You're just looking for a different level of imagery. You'll want to move on from this guy. So where to go to next? You could go the compact camera route. So this is a Sony compact camera. I got this for vlogging. So in all honesty and full disclosure, I have not used this for photography at all, just for taking videos. But it has the ability to take really high res photos. It does come with a zoom lens already built into it. So you can zoom in and out from a subject kind of like you can on your cell phone. The difference is that the settings are more manual on a camera like this, and it has a bigger sensor. So the sensor size in a compact camera is better than that in a cell phone, and you're just going to get a better quality of imagery. Now, a camera like this is going to run you about $1,000, and it is kind of like the next stepping stone from a cell phone to a compact camera, and then up to the level up from that. So where to go from a compact camera? My next recommendation would be either a DSLR or more preferably a mirrorless camera. I would show you one of those, but we are actually filming with those cameras right now. So I don't have them to show to you. But I do have this. So this is one of my lenses for my mirrorless Canon R5. And that is definitely taking it up another level. So when you start getting into camera bodies and lenses where they're separate and they're not all fixed into one, and you can interchange lenses, the sky is the limit. You can do whatever you want in terms of lenses and variety. And you can just see in my face, it's just lit up because it's just so damn exciting to be able to just have creative freedom, like complete creative freedom. And I think what is liberating about that is that you can do whatever you want. If you want to do wide angle images where your dog's head looks like it has a bobblehead and it looks like a caricature and it's just funny, you can do those. If you want to get a lens like this where you take like telephoto style images and they're more like portraiture with those backgrounds that I was telling you about, then you can go for something like that. You don't have to invest in the same equipment that I have, and I would never in a million years suggest that you do unless you're going pro. But if you're looking for like and I use the term loosely because I feel like there's a connotation to it, but an amateur level DSLR or mirrorless, they're gonna run you in and around the $1,500 to $2,000 range. And I definitely suggest that if it is in your budget and you can afford it, I mean, one of these is what, like, I don't even know, $1,500 or so. I know you get to use it for a lot more things than an actual camera, but if you can afford the budget for a new camera, preferably mirrorless, because that is just the way of the future, then I suggest that's where you invest your funds. Go get yourself a camera body with a lens. They usually come in a kit. Do your research. I do not have any specific models at the time being to refer to you. Stay tuned because we will be doing an episode all about the newest technology that has just come out. Canon has just dropped a bunch of new models of cameras that are more kind of geared towards that price point that I think you would really benefit from. I just haven't worked with them yet. So we're gonna go talk to someone that has, and I think we're gonna be able to give you some solid recommendations. But go to your local camera store's website, shop local if you can, and just compare and contrast. Go into your camera store and become really familiar with some of the sales staff. They will be your best ally when it comes to picking out a piece of equipment that is exactly for your needs. If you're mostly just doing pet photography, tell them that. There are a lot of settings and a lot of things that are unique to pets. So to go back to the original question of when to know when you're ready to upgrade, it really, I think, comes down to you, the style of imagery that you want to be creating, and whether you feel that you have capped out on your creative growth. You will get to a certain point with the cell phone. If you're wanting to keep advancing and just keep getting better and better, you will eventually kind of get tired of the limitations of a cell phone. And similarly with a compact camera, this has limitations definitely of its own as well. The ultimate, the mecca, is the camera body with interchangeable lenses. That is going to give you everything. Now there is definitely a spectrum of these cameras here. Now I wish I had some to show you, but this is where you're going to need to go into your local camera store and just start getting them to show you options. Have a budget in mind. No matter what you end up picking, have a budget in mind and just go for it. You will not regret it, I promise you. Camera technology is not a lot like computer technology where it is constantly changing with big, vast improvements model after model. Yeah, some might have more megapixels. Yeah, some might have more autofocus tweaks or something like that. But I think it's a really good investment. And if you really take care of your equipment, you can easily resell it and take that money and invest it into your next set of gear. So I hope you found that helpful. Until next week, go out and make some memories with your dog. Shoot with whatever camera that you have. Using it is better than not using it at all. And I will see you next week. Bye for now.